Welcome back to my channel. So now in this video we are going to study our new topic, which is inflation. So let's start this video without any delay. Now let's see what is the meaning of the inflation. In general sense, inflation means increase in the prices of a commodities in an economy is known as inflation. But there are certain situations of inflation. One-time rise in the prices of commodity does not constitute an inflation, because a mild increase in the prices is necessary for an economy to boost it. Means for a development, for its growth of an economy, there should be mild or little more amount of increase in the money supply. So small change in a prices, small changes in the prices or increment in the prices does not known as inflation. The situation of inflation is when there is a persistent rise in the price. It means the rise in price should be continuous. Means if prices rise 3 or 6 months, you can say this is not called inflation. If prices rises more than an year, then this will lead to an inflation. Because as inflation grows year after year, prices rises year after year, the value of a money starts falling down, which leads to reduction in the purchasing power, and the commodities become expensive commodities, and people will fall down their demand. So this is the meaning of inflation. Let me write it down. Inflation is a persistent means continuous and appreciable rise in prices in an economy. So this is the meaning of an inflation. So now next we will do the types of inflation. I hope you are clear with this meaning. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section. So now let's move to the types of inflation. So there are 6 types of inflation. As you can see, the first one is creeping inflation. Second one is walking, third one is running inflation, fourth one is galloping or hyperinflation, fifth one is open, and last one is suppressed inflation. Let us do one by one. So what is creeping inflation? Creeping inflation, first of all, its other name is called mild inflation. Mild inflation means when there is a rise in the prices to 2 to 3% only, means it is beneficial for the economy. Just because I've told you that there are certain level of increasing prices beneficial for the economy. So this is favorable, have positive effect on an economy. But next one is walking inflation. Walking inflation means when price level rises to 3 to 6%. Then it is called walking inflation. Its other name is trotting inflation. This is walking or trotting inflation when prices rise to 3 to 6%. This also don't have any bad or negative impact on an economy. This is good for an economy. So next one is running inflation. Now, this inflation is called 2-digit inflation, means when prices rises to 10%. Means this is a sign for a government to now control the increase in prices. Because if prices go beyond that, then it will going to have a negative and very bad and worse effect on the economy. So this is the signal one. So now means the prices rises should be controlled. Now next one is hyperinflation. This is also called galloping inflation. Means here prices to 20 to 30%. Means here situation is become now worse. Means this inflation caused a lot of losses to the economy. Next one is open inflation. Means now here there is no limit of rise of prices here. Means the price rises to almost 100%. 100%. And so the example of this open inflation is like black marketing or smuggling, where the commodities sold at a very higher prices. You can take the examples of COVID times. You can see the vaccines delivered. Some patients are getting the vaccines at very higher price. So that's black marketing. Because the supply is not so much, so people start selling at higher prices. So that's called open inflation. And the last one is surplus inflation. Surplus inflation means the prices are rising, but government here now taking steps to control the prices. So these are the types of inflation. I hope you are clear with it. You can read this or note it down in your copy. Now next move to our causes to inflation. Means how the inflation is caused in an economy. So there are two causes of inflation. Means first is demand pull inflation and second one is cost push inflation. So first we will do demand pull inflation. See, what is called demand pull inflation? When the aggregate demand of goods and services or commodity is greater than aggregate supply. Means when there is more demand in an economy than supply, then it will be called demand pull inflation, which can be corrected by in two ways. Partially rise in the prices, producer will increase the prices, and partially increase the output up to full employment level. And if demand will increase beyond that after full employment, then producer will not going to increase the output because he cannot. So the ultimate thing will depend upon prices. So he will increase the prices after full employment. So let's see this through a curve, then you will understand more easily. This is demand pull inflation. Means this is from consumer's point of view. So we are taking one supply curve and many demand curve. Because from consumer sides there will be demand and from producer sides there is supply curve. So here on y-axis we have taken prices and on x-axis we have taken an output. So the initial aggregate demand curve will be at AD1. We know that the demand curve is downward sloping. We have already studied in the previous videos. So this is the initial aggregate demand curve AD1, which is intersecting supply curve at this will be the supply this will be the supply curve. So the initial aggregate demand curve is intersecting at this point. Let's give the name E1. This is the initial point. Means here the prices will determine and output will be determined. Output will be OY1 and prices determined will be P1 OP1. And supply is this, demand is this. Now suppose demand increases due to any of the reasons, because of increase in consumers' income or due to increase in government expenditure or due to increase in the investment, the aggregate demand increases, which leads to a shift in aggregate demand curve to AD2, means upward. So new aggregate demand will be this. So now prices is same, prices is not change, prices is P1, but demand is changed now and move upwards to AD2, which is higher than AD1. So there will be an excess of demand to E1H. Yeah, this is the excess of demand. So now what will producer will do? He will increase the prices as well as output to OP2. So he will set now the prices to OP2. He will, because he have to restore the equilibrium level now. That's why he have to now increase the prices and output too. Where in new AD2 and supply is intersecting, which is intersecting here. So the new equilibrium point will be E2 and our new output is Y2 and prices new will be P2. Now you can see the supply curve is here upward and then it becomes vertical. You see in sometimes that why this is happening. So I hope you are clear with this, that due to increase in the demand to AD2, there will be an excess of demand to E1 to H, due to which there will be excess of demand and supply is less. So what will producer do? Producer will partially increase the prices and partially increase the output, and then new equilibrium will take place on E2. If suppose demand further more increases to AD3, now this leads to more increase in our prices as well as output. To O5F, and prices new will be determined at OP3. OP3. Here new prices will be determined. Now what situation arises now? YF, I have given the name YF because this is the point of full employment. We have already studied the meaning of full employment in our previous videos. Means full employment means the fuller utilization of resources. Means now here all the resources are fully utilized here. We cannot increase the output, or we can say production, from this point. So now from this point everything is depend upon prices. If demand further more increase from AD3 to AD4, then we cannot increase the now output. So everything is now depend on prices. So producer will only increase the prices to OP4. That's why there is so much gap between P3 and P4. And that's why the aggregate supply curve from here is vertical. Vertical means we cannot change the production or output here. Upward sloping of supply curve means we can change in a short run, but after a certain point of time we cannot change the output. So supply curve become vertical. So, and from this point, after full employment point, when price start rising, this will lead to creating an inflation. So this is the inflation from demand pull side. This is called demand pull inflation. I hope you are clear with this. So next we will do cost push inflation. So the last causes of inflation is cost push inflation. So this is the last topic for today's video, cost push inflation. Now what does it mean? cost push inflation means we have studied demand pull inflation, and that is from consumer side, and now cost push inflation is from producer side. It means when the price in the prices is due to increase in a production cost or cost of production, is called cost push inflation. Now, cost of production prices in two ways. First, either wage push, or second one is profit margin, which is a part of labor and the profit is a part of entrepreneur. Wage push is there in those companies where there are strong trade unions of labor. They will demand higher wages from their entrepreneurs, and when they demand more wages, the entrepreneur is not going to give out of his pocket, rather they increase the prices of the commodity, and this lead to inflation come in the market. And when talking about profit margin, when entrepreneurs want more profit, then they will increase ultimately the prices of the commodity, and this will bring inflation. So we will understand this through a curve. This is point of origin, here prices, output. So this is side of a producer, so we are taking many supply curve and one demand curve. Demand curve, we know that it is downward sloping AD, and supply curve is upward, that is at AS1, and the initial price is determined at this point at OY1. Output is OY1 and price determined is OP1. Now condition is equilibrium is E1. Now the condition now. Due to increase in the cost of production due to increase in profits or in wages, which leads to there will be rise in the prices to OP1 to OP2, and that means prices, there will be more supply but output will be less at higher prices. Means because when prices are higher, the production will be less done, so that's why output will be less and prices will be obviously high. OP2. OP2 and the output will be OY2, and supply curve will shift upward to AF2. And if further increase in the cost leads to further increase in the price and fall in the output to Y3. If further supply increases, AS3, this leads to rise in the prices to P3 and fall in the output to Y3. So this is from cost push inflation. I hope you are clear with it. If you have any doubts regarding this whole topic, you can ask me in the comment section. If you find my video useful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this.